So my brother and I, we like to go to concerts, and I'm in my 30s and I can't quite stay as comfortable standing all day, every day, especially one of these like 3-day festivals where you're standing for like 12 hours a day. And so being a guy that's into boots and shoes, I figured there might be a smart way to try to figure out some of the questions that center around what type of shoe is the best for standing all day. You know, because this is not just applicable to these longer concerts, but also it's for people that work on their feet all day. And there's a lot of information out there that says one thing's better than the other, and like no squish, lots of squish, stable squish. The questions I asked myself when I started buying all these shoes was, is a lot of foam good for standing all day? Is there such thing as too much squish underneath your foot? Which of these did I like the most and why? What would I look for in a standing shoe for standing all day? That's what we're gonna answer to try to start finding the perfect standing shoe for standing all day. So what are the contenders we have? Well, first is the ASICS. The style is the Gel Numbus 25 wide. They weigh 12.6 ounces. They retail for $160. They're made in Indonesia. And the way that ASICS positions this is the Gel Numbus 25 shoe's soft cushioning properties help you feel like you're landing on clouds. The neutral trainer is revamped with new materials that create a soft and smoother running experience. A soft knit upper comfortably wraps your foot while supplying advanced ventilation. Its updated knit tongue construction provides better flexibility and extends around the ankle for a luxurious fit and feel. The midsole is packed with the most cushioning that the series has offered to date. By adding more FF Blast Plus Eco cushioning and our new Pure Gel technology, this trainer creates a lighter and softer cushioning experience. Next contender is the Topo Athletic Ultrafly 4. They weigh 11 ounces. They retail for $135. They're made in China, and the way that they position this shoe is the best version yet of our fan favorite all-purpose daily trainer has landed, now featuring even more comfort and more sustainable materials. The sleek and comfortable upper features recycled engineered mesh and our signature roomy toe box. The zip foam midsole delivers lightweight resilience and response, while the external TPU heel counter and EVA medial post offer light guidance. Perfect for those seeking light pronation support with a smooth and comfortable ride. Finally, we got the Ons. The style is the Cloudsurfer. They weigh 9 ounces. They retail for $160. They're made in Vietnam, and the way that On positions this is cruise the concrete in the ultra soft road running shoe with Cloud Tech phase cushioning for a smooth ride and seamless heel to toe transition. And if you want a pair of any of these, check them out, the link in my description. So I've been working on Rose Anvil for 10 years, but really grinding my life away for the last 5 or 6 years. And my health took a back seat to that. It's time for me to take care of my health, my fitness. So when I heard about the Fit Responder program, which is the only coaching program for first responders, I was like, hey, I'm not a first responder, but sometimes I feel like it. You know, I'm just working at all hours, my health is suffering, and I need to be healthier, I need to be stronger. And this program is made to show you how to lose a ton of fat, stay in shape 365 days a year while still enjoying the food you love, increasing muscle definition and performance in 16 weeks. How do they plan on doing that? Because I haven't started yet. I start in January. Well, pillar number 1 is structure, focusing on nutrition, training, and daily goal setting. Pillar number 2 is support, one-on-one coaching throughout the program to stay on track. And pillar number 3, sustainability. They teach principles that help you shape your body, but importantly, mindset and rituals that are repeatable. Because that's the one thing that I've noticed with all these different programs, these diets and stuff. They're like short, really quick programs, and then everyone does it. They get really healthy, they get really fit, and then they immediately stop when the program's done. And for me, fitness is not about being a big old jacked dude. I just don't have the DNA for it. I'll never be jacked. It's more about functional strength. It's more about longevity. It's more about staying healthy, being healthy, and doing the things I want to do because my body's healthy. So if you're in a similar situation and you don't have the time, you don't have the expertise, and you just need to get in shape, you need to be healthy, join up. I'm starting in January, and you can click the link below and get 2 free weeks upon signing up for the program. And thanks again to Fit Responder for sponsoring this video. Check them out below, get signed up. Let's get jacked in 2025. Sign up for January, let's do it together. But what I was trying to achieve by buying these 3 really foam, squishy shoes that have some different features were, with the ASICS, I just wanted the ultra squish. I wanted as much foam underneath my foot as possible so I could kind of see how that feels and what it does over a long day of standing. With the Topos, I wanted more of that closer to zero drop, that wide toe box, kind of what we've seen with a lot of the up and coming like barefoot styles of shoes, while you still have a lot of arch support, which is kind of counter to that barefoot style, and still having lots of squish underfoot, which sounds like the perfect concert shoe. And then finally with the Ons, also very squishy, but a different kind of squish, because you got these windows in there that provide a lot more length of squish. So we have lots of foam with the stable squish, zero drop wide toe box with arch support and a lot of squish, and then just mega collapsing squish. So starting with the uppers, they all have very similar uppers. They're all this knit kind of breathable material. They have the ventilation holes, so they all performed about the same to me. They're all very breathable and they didn't get too hot. They seem to be durable enough for standing all day. You know, it's not like you're working in these and really beating them up. As for the insoles, the ASICS had maybe the best out of the three because they're all fairly similar, open cell foam. The Ons are probably the cheapest. Then I would say the Topos are next best. And then where I started to feel a difference was, especially in the Topos, if there is a hard seam underneath of that insole, like where this strobel stitch is or the lasting board hits the sidewall, you get a lot of pressure underneath of that because this foam bottoms out really, really quick. It's Ortholite, which is still a good brand, but it's thin. And so you're just kind of standing on those hard seams, which you don't notice for walking because you're constantly lifting up your foot, the circulation comes through, but when you're just standing for hours and hours and hours, any pressure point you feel quite heavily. And so these, I didn't wear as much after I got them broken in because right here at the heel, it kind of bunches up and causes a high pressure point. But one thing I did like was this wide toe box. Look how wide this is compared to the Ons. And then compared to the ASICS. Then if we start looking at maybe the thing that matters most, which is the midsole, with the ASICS, they have that pure gel technology with FF Blast Plus Eco Foam. The durometer of that foam is about 25 Shore, so really, really soft. To me, around that 20 Shore, depending on the foam, it feels a little bit like you're walking in quicksand. 30 gives a little bit more firm feel, so 25 made these, to me, feel really soft and squishy without being overly squishy. These were probably the most comfortable midsole and the most supportive, and also had the most squish, because if you compare them to the Topos, it still had a good amount of squish, but because you had those hard spots, you didn't get quite as much of that feeling. And the durometer of the Topos are just a little bit harder at 30 Shore. And so it was a little bit more firm underfoot. And I honestly think if that little bit of the high pressure in the heel wasn't as bad, I might've liked them better than the ASICS. And they're also just not as huge and clompy. Me and my brother called these the father walkers because they're just so unsightly, and especially when you have dainty little ankles like me. Then you look at the Ons, and this is where I really, really struggled with the Ons because I've had a few pairs before, but this is like their super squishy version. The barometer of the Ons is a 30, but it feels way softer. I couldn't figure out what was going on, but I was walking in these pretty regularly to get them trying to broken in and worked a few concerts, and my knees always hurt so much after wearing them. And I think what I figured out was as I was walking in these, because it collapses so much, when I would, part of my gait, as it would collapse, it would almost overextend my knee when I made that first contact with the ground, and it would squish so much, it almost forced my knee backwards. And so I didn't like them for that reason, but also it felt like the same effect when I was standing. Like it just compressed so much and it was so unstable because of these cutouts that are clearly made for running. You know, keep that in mind. Like this is an attempt to find the perfect standing shoe by looking at a few different styles of shoes and technologies to see what translates best to standing. This just did not. Obviously everyone's different, there's personal preference, and each body's different, each foot is different, so you might have different experiences. So out of the three of them, I like the ASICS the most for the midsole. I think the Topos had a lot of potential, but they a little bit firmer foam and all those issues we talked about just made it so I ended up liking the midsole of the ASICS the most. And as for the outsole, you know, for standing all day, it really didn't seem like I felt a big difference between them. Obviously the Topos have the most grip because there's the most rubber, and then probably the ASICS, and then the least amount of rubber is on the Ons. So that might be worth considering if you're at a job that you want a little bit extra grip and slip protection. But for me, I didn't really notice a difference for standing at concerts all day, but it's worth considering. We ran the bar drop test and the ball drop test to try to see if there was any data to back it up, and here are the results. So now let's cut them in half and see how they're structured on the inside and how they contour and why. For some reason, even though these are the father walkers, I ended up liking these so much, and I'll kind of go through what I learned about this style of shoe, the pros and cons, and what I didn't like and what I did like for standing in them all day. All right, we got them all cut in half, so let's start with the ASICS. And the Topos. So this is where it got really interesting, because I'm obviously looking at this through the lens of standing in them all day, but if you're looking at these for running shoes, you have all the information you need to start making some educated choices when it comes to how the actual sole is shaped, how the insole is shaped, the midsole and what it does, the durometers, the thicknesses. So even though this isn't about running, if you're watching this for running, there's tons of information that you can gather from this to help you make those decisions. But look at the ASICS. These are really, really interesting, because these ended up being the ones I like standing in all day the most. You can see at the heel here, it drops down quite a bit, creating a little pocket for your heel, making that arch support really support that arch. And then at the toe, it slims down again. Obviously, it's a little bit sprung toe, but these ended up being a little bit more of what I was expecting from the Topos, because out of the two of them, they're kind of the same shape and contour, but these just have a little bit more squish, a little bit softer foam. So for running, these actually for me would be more of what I would be looking for, because I don't like that really steep incline, especially for athletics and running. And for concerts, this shape worked really, really well, because I didn't feel like I was on my toes all day. I just kind of settled in on them, and I kept going back to these for most concerts that I wasn't horrendously embarrassed to wear the father walkers in. But then if you look at the Topos, similar story, but just harder foam and less foam, but a wider toe box. And then if you look at the Ons, you can see why these collapse so easily, because those holes run all the way through the midsole, and it's so easy to collapse by hand that as you're walking in these and wearing these, it just collapses so easily. And it is a lot more of that rocker style, where it starts coming to a point more gradually. And so they do feel a little bit more like you're on your toes. But the biggest thing that I noticed with all of these was this much foam and squish underfoot is a little bit more unstable than I anticipated, because when you're just standing in it all day, and whether you're just like rocking out or bobbing your head to the music or dancing hard, moshing it, whatever you happen to be doing, that much instability under your foot really starts wearing out your legs, but not in the way that I expected, where it'd be like my calves are sore, my quads are sore, this is sore. It's all those little teeny muscles in your lower leg that are your stabilizing muscles, that are your quick twitch, like, you know, when you're just standing on a ball or in physical therapy or whatever, and your foot's balancing and it's shaking, those little teeny connecting muscles really get worn out in this type of shoe when you're just standing and you're shifting a lot, because it doesn't have as stable of a platform as regular shoes. So that's one huge downside to wearing this type of shoe for standing all day. So it's worth considering if you're looking at a really foamy shoe for standing all day. So now that we've dissected them, we've seen all the materials, all of the durometers, all the stuff that made these shoes perform in a certain way, what did I actually learn from this? Well, for me, too much squish is bad for the knees. You know, it's just, you start feeling it as you hyperextend, and if you're not walking really, really correct, these shoes can collapse underneath of your feet in a weird way, causing some potential pain. Too much squish is also a little bit unstable, because it wears out those little muscles in your leg. They're embarrassing as heck to wear, the father walkers at a concert. Zero drop is surprisingly good. I didn't think that I'd like it as much as I did, because in normal like barefoot shoes where you barely have anything underneath your foot, the heel can be a little bit hard because you have zero squish. And so my thought was, if the heel is elevated with a little bit more foam, it would make them more comfortable. But these two being nearly zero drop and being more comfortable than shoes like this that have more of an angle, it showed me that you can still have a really comfortable heel in a zero drop shoe if it has a lot of squish underneath the heel. And that kind of surprised me, and I ended up liking the zero drop more. Another thing that was important that I noticed was the pressure points in the heel. If I was gonna buy a pair for standing all day, I would go to the store and just stand in them for like half an hour and see if I feel anything underneath my heel or any high pressure points that don't agree with my foot. The next thing I noticed was I liked how breathable they were. And then the final thing was, I wish they all came in all black. When I'm at a concert, Even if these are all black, I'd feel more comfortable in them. They're just so obvious, like this giant white billboard of a dad shoe. How would I rank these from most comfortable for standing all day to least comfortable? ASICS, Topo, and then Ons. And once again, they're not standing shoes, they're running shoes. But the attempt with this video is to see if we can find the perfect running shoe from other disciplines and other types of shoes not made for standing that would work really well for standing. So let me know what you guys think when it comes to theories for standing shoes all day, what other standing shoes you want me to cover, and because I think it is a very valuable thing to figure out, not just so that if you're watching this video for running shoes, you can get all that information, but also a lot of people stand all day for their job. The footwear can make or break the job. So let me know what you think and what other shoes you'd recommend, and thank you guys for your support. See ya.